It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, KCAL 9 presents the Dodgers as they take on the Angels. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Tuesday evening to you, wherever you may be. A lovely night here in the ballpark for Game 2 of the 6-game series between the Dodgers and the Angels, with the Angels winning last night 3-2. Jerome Williams will be on the mound for the Angels tonight. He has a record of 6-3, and the Dodgers will counter with Aaron Harang, a record of 5-3. Two streaks are still on the line. The Angels have won 10 straight on the road, and the Dodgers, surprisingly, considering how well they played at home most of the year, they have now lost 5 in a row here at Dodger Stadium. For the Dodgers, they're 4.5 in front of the Giants. The Angels, they're 2.5 behind Texas. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have a whole lot more coming up right after this. Is available all day long, and by your Southern California Toyota dealers. entire menu is available all day long. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Tuesday evening to you, wherever you may be. We're at Dodger Stadium for Game 2 of the series between the Dodgers and the Angels. A large crowd, they're talking of maybe upwards of 54,000, collecting their bobblehead of the always and forever popular Mike Scioscia. And Mike, taking a curtain call before the game, got a standing ovation after they showed some of the great moments as a Dodger on the Diamond Vision screen. Mike was a little bit embarrassed with all the fuss going on, but now the first ball is being thrown out, if you can believe this. The veteran of the game is the oldest living World War II female veteran, Miss B. Cohen, and I think B. Cohen is 104 years old, and she was born and raised, I believe, in Romania, and eventually came here, and she actually had the honor, and what a great honor it is for us to have her here today to throw out their first ball. Bless her heart. And you want to take a look at her throw? Well, here it is at 102, I get the correct age. Just a little low and away, not bad at all for 102 years old. God bless her. So with a high note, what a great way to start the evening. That's an uplifting moment for all of us. And as she slowly leaves the field of play, carrying her little American flag, Mike Scioscia with a ball club that's red hot. They've won 10 straight on the road. They have beaten the Dodgers 10 of the last 13 meetings, and they've given the Dodgers a bad time here. They've beaten the Dodgers 7 of the last 8 at Dodger Stadium. Here's the Angel lineup. The somewhat phenomenal 20-year-old Mike Trout in center field, Torrey Hunter in right field, and Albert Pujols playing third base tonight. That figured. Kendrys Morales, who appeared briefly as a pinch hitter last night, is in the lineup tonight at first base hitting cleanup. Mark Trumbo is in left field. Meiser Izturis will be at second base. Eric Ibar at short. Hank Conger will take over the plate from John Hester, who caught last night, and Jerome Williams on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, Aaron Harang with a record of 5-3, 0-1 against the Angels. The 33-year-old picked up his 5th win in Philadelphia, going a strong 6 when the Dodgers beat the Phillies 8-3. The one loss that he suffered against the Angels was way back in 2003. Though in 2003, Aaron Harang was pitching for the Oakland A's, and consequently the decision against the Angels. So Aaron's getting ready on a gorgeous evening before what will be awfully close to a full house, well over 50,000, as we honor Mike Scioscia. To take a look at the Dodgers with the leather, Abreu, Quinn, and Ethier in the outfield. The infield of Uribe, Gordon, Kennedy, and Rivera, the battery of Harang and Ellis. And unless you missed it, out there in right field, there has to be a glow around Andre Ethier. Dodgers had a press conference today at about 1 o'clock. Andre has signed a 5-year deal. Comes out to, well, about $85 million, so that's $17 million a year. And there's also, after the 5-year extension today, there's also an option for another $15 million, and there's a buyout in case neither team is interested, whether the Ethier team or the Dodgers. The buyout's $2.5 million. So there's a lot going on as Andre Ethier takes the field in right field. Now the ball game is ready, and here is the young phenom Mike Trout. He's hit safely in 14 of 15 and takes a strike. Last night, he had a home run, a single, a walk. He stole 2 bases and knocked in the winning run with a base hit in the 9th inning. The strike 1 pitch on the way. Harang delivers in the dirt all the way to the backstop. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mike Trout. In looking at Trout's work, among other things, in the first 3 innings of his game, he's hitting .368. In the middle 3, .422. He takes high and a 2-ball 1-strike count. If he faces the same starting pitcher for the 3rd time, he's hitting .455. So he is remarkable every way you look at him. 2-1 pitch on the way is swung on and missed. Slider down and away. 2-2 the count to Mike Trout. For Aaron Harang, if Trout gets aboard, he'll have to try and keep him where he is because Trout has stolen 15 out of 18. He's also a good bunter, but with 2 strikes, Uribe is deep at third. Trout has 3 bunt base hits. So Mike waiting, batting .354. Harang ready and delivers, and it is swung on and fouled away. Interesting thought about watching a 20-year-old in the big leagues last night. In the first inning against Capuano with 2 strikes on him, he chased a fastball up and away and struck out. In the 9th inning, facing Kenley Jansen, he got a fastball up and away, single to right field to drive in the run. He takes just off the plate 3-2. So Trout shows the experience and the patience of a much older veteran type, and he has Torrey Hunter hitting back of him. 3-2 pitch is fouled away. So Trout is still there working on a full count. In this position, you look it up and you find out he has walked 16 times while striking out 34. Before Trout, the Angels were 6-14. They're 27-15 with him. And look out now, he gets ball 4. So again, the patience of young Trout is on display as he draws the walk. Torrey Hunter is coming up. One of the great moves that Mike Scioscia has made, and he's made plenty of them, was he moved Torrey Hunter into the 2nd spot between Mike Trout and Albert Pujols for the Interleague Series in Colorado. And was it explosive? The trio combined 23 for 42. That would be a .548 combined average. So they were just absolutely magnificent, and he's kept it going. So here now with Trout at first, taking a good, optimistic lead. Everything he does, you get the idea he feels he can do it. Harang is set, Aaron delivers, and the pitch is very high, ball 1. In last night's game, Trout stole 3rd in the 6th inning, stole 2nd, and scored the winning run in the 9th. So Trout held on at first by Juan Rivera. 1 ball and no strikes the count to Torrey Hunter, batting .276 with 9 home runs. He fouls the pitch back. Torrey has 25 runs batted in. So Aaron Harang and Jerome Williams, and then tomorrow night the concluding game, C.J. Wilson and Nathan Eovaldi. Then Thursday an off day, and the Chicago White Sox will be in here for the weekend. Torrey Hunter, right-hand hitter, possessor of 9 Gold Gloves, waiting at the plate. And the 1-1 pitch on the way. Trout takes his lead, draws a throw, and gets back to the bag. Hunter blazing hot. When they put him in the 2nd slot, he's 11 for 20. That's a .550 batting average. He's also scored 10 runs in the last 6 games. The only thing that's gotten Torrey down was the altitude in Denver. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way, and it's in the dirt, kicks way off up along 3rd base, down to 2nd. Easily goes Trout. So just like that, Harang with a wild pitch puts Trout in scoring position as he bounces the curveball that got away from A.J. Ellis. So Trout at 2nd base, nobody out. 2-1 the count to Torrey Hunter. Torrey back up and waiting, bat resting on his right shoulder for the moment. Harang out of a stretch, looks back at 2nd, just staring at Trout. Now to the plate, ground ball to short. Up with it is Gordon to make the play. Trout had nowhere to go except to go back to the bag. So the wild pitch helped. Otherwise, that's probably a double play ball. And the Dodgers have been using the double play to bail out. They have had 2 last night. So Hunter hits into the ground ball at short, and now Albert Pujols coming up. Albert Pujols hitting .260, 9 home runs, 37 runs batted in, and from all intents and purposes is back on the beam. He needs one base to give him 4,000 in his career. Last night he singled in the first inning, walked, and then had the game-winning single in the ninth. So Pujols checks in, batting .260. Harang ready, and there's a big chopper to third. Up with it there is Uribe. A high throw, but tagged at first for Rivera, and over to third goes Mike Trout. So Pujols grounds to third. Trout takes third, and with two down, the batter will be Kendrys Morales. For Pujols, who does like the first pitch, we didn't even have a chance to tell you that he has 5 home runs in his career against Aaron Harang. So he just couldn't wait to rip. So 2 out. Trout is now at third. And as we always do with a runner at third, we take a look at the pitcher. Harang does have 2 wild pitches, 1 tonight. So here's Morales, who is playing first base, switch hitter, batting left-handed, and takes low, ball 1. Morales came off the bench last night in the 6th inning, batted for Garrett Richards, and fouled out. So a marvelous hitter. His career, of course, derailed for a while with the freakish ankle injury. Now the 1-0 pitch, and that's inside and low, ball 2. Mike Trout coming down the line a little bit, and Harang just looking at him. So Morales hitting .292, a switch hitter. He'll hit .290 from either side of the plate. 7 home runs, 23 runs batted in, and the 2-0 pitch is taken outside, ball 3. For the Dodgers, they have Adam Kennedy out on the grass in shallow right field. The outfield is just about straight away. However, Gordon is up the middle on the grass behind second base. Now the 3-0 pitch swung on, hit right to Gordon on the ground. D picks it up, throws him out. And just like real estate, location, location, location. And the Dodgers outmaneuver the Angels in the first inning. At the end of half an inning, no score. At third base, we'll take a look now at Don Mattingly's lineup. D. Gordon opens up at short. A.J. Ellis, who walked 4 times last night, moves up to the number 2 slot. Andre Ethier, followed by Juan Rivera at first base. Then you have Bobby Abreu in left field. Adam Kennedy at second base. Juan Uribe at third. Tony Gwynn in center. Aaron Harang on the mound. On the mound for the Angels, Jerome Williams. He's a big boy, 6'3", about 230. He will be 31 years old in December. He was born in Honolulu and lives in Fresno. What kind of a guy is he? Well, first of all, check his glove. It's somewhat pink. Big guy ready and delivers, and Gordon takes a pitch for a strike, and they count 0-1. Why is Jerome Williams using a pink glove? He wears it in honor of his mom. who passed away 11 years ago after a battle with breast cancer. Gordon hits one foul down the left field line, and that'll go back into the crowd, and the count 0-2. For Jerome Williams, couple of statistical notes. He's had 8 quality starts. The Angels have been getting him a lot of runs, almost 6 a game. He's averaging about 6.5 innings. He's had 2 games the bullpen let get away. Gordon swings a little flare that's going to go foul untouched off third base. We can also tell you that Williams gets an awful lot of ground balls. That's one reason why the Angels have turned 10 double plays behind him. Almost 2 ground balls for every ball hit in the air. Gordon takes inside, ball 1, 1-2. As far as left and right hand batters are concerned, right-handers are hitting 262 and left-handers 258. The 1-2 pitch, a check swing. They're going to look at third. No swing, says Sam Holbrook. And the count 2-2 to D. Gordon. D batting .234 with a home run and 14 runs batted in. Mark Trumbo shallow in left field. Now the 2-2 pitch, and Gordon swings and bangs it into center for a base hit. Over to get it is Trout. So Gordon, a line drive single to open things up, and now you have Ellis, Ethier, and Rivera to follow. We'll take a look now at the Angels in the outfield. Trumbo, Trout, and Hunter. Pujols at third, then Ibar, Izturis, and Morales, and the battery of Williams and Conger. So Gordon with a line drive single, and Pujols, who played first, moves over to play third tonight. He's played there a couple of times for Socia. Made a couple of errors. Morales playing first. That was an anticipated move. Meanwhile, Gordon now is going to try to put a little heat on Jerome Williams. A.J. Ellis waiting for the plate umpire, and that would be Andy Fletcher. Exchange of balls. Williams normally struggles in the first 3 innings. There goes Gordon. The pitch is a strike. The throw kicks away from the bag. Gordon, however, will have to hold at second as Ibar retrieves. Throw went right at the bag. Hank Conger made one of those plays where the runner is sliding, the ball is arriving, the infielder is covering, and when it's all said and done, on a bounce, the ball kicked perhaps even off Gordon's foot and kicked off to the shortstop side of the bag. So for D. Gordon, he tries to get the Dodgers started with a base hit, and he has now stolen 18 out of 24. 0-1 the count to Ellis, who fouls it away. Ellis trying to take a shot to the right side to advance the runner, hit it right into the Angel dugout. Another beautiful evening here in the ballpark. 66 degrees. Tomorrow night, the concluding game of the series. Hope you'll be out here with us if you possibly can. Strike 2 pitch. Ellis takes up around the eyes. 1-2 the count. In the first 3 innings, Williams' earned run average is over 5. Then he settles down from then on. So the Dodgers trying to get a jump on him right away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Williams comes back, and it is swung on and missed. Though Ellis trying to lift a pitch around the knees came up empty. Gordon remains at second base. And now here comes Andre Ethier. Andre Ethier from the press conference. The recorded speech that he gave at the press conference was played on Diamond Vision here in the ballpark. He received a warm round of applause. He is struggling, however. A lot of folks think, well, it was the pending contract that tied him up. He said no, he's just having trouble with his swing. He takes low and away, ball 1. Ethier has had 5 hits in his last 41 at-bats. So it's been a struggle for him on the road, and it continued last night when he went not only 0 for 4, but struck out 3 times. The 1-0 pitch on the way, and Andre hits a little ground ball to the right side, picked up there and made by Izturis. Moving over to third is Gordon. So with a runner at third and 2 down, Juan Rivera coming up.
First baseman, number 21.
Interesting for the Dodgers on the right side of their infield. They have 2 former Angels in Adam Kennedy and Juan Rivera. And now here's Rivera trying to punish his former club. Gordon now at third. 2 out, first inning. A repeat almost. The Angels were in a familiar position and they left Trout at third. Though we'll see about whether the Dodgers do the same with Gordon. Rivera hitting .235, 2 home runs, 15 runs batted in, and takes ball 1. For Rivera, he first joined the Angels back in 2005, stayed with them through 2010. So Rivera waiting at the plate. Here comes Williams, fastball, good sinker, fouled at the plate, 0-2. When you see that fastball sink as it did, you realize why he gets so many ground balls. Basically, a late life fastball. Then he has a fair curve slider, and the scouts say his best pitch is a changeup. So Jerome set at the belt, and his strike 2 pitch on the way. Rivera fouls it away, and the count remains 0-2. For Williams, with a runner at third, no wild pitches, no balks. So Rivera waits. Juan from Guarenas in Venezuela. He'll be 34 on July the 3rd. Out of a stretch goes Williams, just looks over at Gordon. Now to the plate, waved at and missed. There was the changeup, and Rivera way out in front of it. So each side leaves a runner at third, and at the end of an inning, no score. By the way, a frustrating start, especially for the Dodgers. They leave a runner at third. They are 1 for 14 with runners in scoring position so far in the 2 games. So Gordon was left at third, Trout was left at third, and now Mark Trumbo at the plate. And Mark takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Big boy, 6'4", 220. Born in Anaheim, lives in Orange, went to Villa Park High School. He was a 18th round pick 8 years ago. The strike 1 pitch on the way. Trumbo lifts it foul off first. That will carry well back into the crowd. And the count 0-2. When Trumbo was in high school, he pitched and played first base. He signed a letter of intent to go to SC, but instead signed with the Angels. Most scouts had him as a pitcher, but the Angels, they fell in love with that bat, and here he is. Trumbo with 14 home runs, 39 runs batted in, and takes low. One of the things that Trumbo did in the middle of May last year, he used to have a toe tap. His left foot would tap at the start of his swing, and he got rid of that, and it really paid off for him. He now raises the leg a little bit more, and he lunges at a breaking ball way out of the strike zone and strikes out. So Trumbo goes down swinging, one away. Because Aaron Harang has always been a strikeout pitcher. I mean, besides the 9 in a row in San Diego and 13 in one game. So Aaron Harang strikes out Trumbo, and Meiser is Turris checking in at the plate. Meiser appeared as a pinch hitter last night and grounded out. Switch hitter, batting left-handed, and looks at a strike. 0-1. His half-brother, Cesar Izturis, played for the Dodgers. No balls and 1 strike. He swings, pulls it just foul outside of first down the line. For Meiser Izturis, he's had one big problem. He has not been blessed with a big physique. He's only 5'8", 165-pounder. And he's been on the DL at least 9 times in his career. He takes off the plate, 1 and 2 the count. He first came to the Angels in 05, kept going up and down. Angels, minor leagues, vice versa. Then the last couple of years, he pretty much stayed up. He takes in on the corner, strike 3 called. So Harang opens up by striking out Trumbo and Izturis. There was kind of a pitch that backed up. It looked like it was going to be inside, and suddenly that late life fastball, and it got the inside corner. Remarkable how big league pitchers can do that. So here now is Eric Ibar. Ibar hitting .225, another switch hitter. They have 3 switch hitters in a row in the Angel lineup. First ball swinging, he lifts a fly ball to shallow center right into the glove of Tony Gwynn, and that'll be that. So a quick inning for Aaron Harang, and at the end of an inning and a half, no score. Juan Uribe. Jerome Williams, who was originally a first-round pick by the San Francisco Giants in 1999, has had quite a trip to get here, but here he is. And the big fella waiting for Abreu to check in. Abreu hitting .326 with a home run, 9 runs batted in. Shows bunt, takes a strike, and the count 0-1. The infield swung around a bit to first. Pujols way off the line, and the outfield fanned out straight away. Strike one pitch to Abreu. Williams' fastball hit to short, gobbled up there by Ibar, who throws him out. So one away in the second inning. And the batter will be Adam Kennedy.
Second base, number 3, Adam Kennedy.
Jerome Williams, along with the family, as he said, his mom and dad were from the baddest of the bad neighborhoods in New York. Boy, that's really bad, because New York, well, never mind. But they eventually moved to Honolulu. His dad was a carpenter, and everything was going okay until Jerome was a sophomore in high school, and his father suffered a terrible injury in a construction mishap. The pitch to Adam Kennedy, in for a strike. He grew up about 15 minutes from Pearl Harbor. Now the strike one pitch on the way, hit in the air, foul off third, out of play, and the count 0-2. And we told you about Jerome Williams, why he uses that pink glove, because he lost his mom. So all of a sudden, by the time he was 15 years old, he was dealing with the pressure of school, a budding baseball career, and trying to take care of both ailing parents. Another foul ball off the bat of Adam Kennedy. Bottom of the second. I'm not sure, can't tell looking at the outside of the cap, but not only does he always use that pink glove, he always had his mother's name and the dates of her birth and death under the bill of the cap. Kennedy swings and misses, the out recorded at first, and we have 2 down in the second inning. For Williams, that's his third strikeout, and the batter will be Juan Uribe. One other thing that Jerome Williams did care for, the last words that his mom ever told him, he wrote that under the bill of his cap. What she told him was, don't do it for me, do it for yourself. And he's been doing it. The first pitch driving Uribe off the base, 1 ball and no strikes. In fact, he had to leave the country to do it. He had to pitch in Taiwan to try and learn the art. The 1-0 pitch on the way is swung on and missed. 1-1. Uribe hitting .250 with a home run and 10 runs batted in. Appeared as a pinch hitter in the 9th inning last night and was hit on the elbow. The elbow that is heavily padded. Hits one foul down the line, and the count 1-2. The Juan Uribe wearing that black pad across the back of the left elbow. He started doing that after Tim Lincecum, his former teammate, hit him the first time they faced each other here at Dodger Stadium. Uribe hits one off the hands, a little ground ball to Ibar, who gets rid of it in a hurry. A very quick inning for Jerome Williams. And just like that, we have 2 innings in the books, no score. Jerome Williams. Hank Conger, a switch hitting catcher, will check in. Hank is another local boy, although he was born in Washington, raised in Huntington Beach, and still lives there. And Hank takes off the plate, ball one. He is a second generation Korean American, and his first name is really Hyan. The pitch is in for a strike, 1-1. His grandfather, who lives in Atlanta, gave him the nickname Hank in honor of Henry Aaron. So Hank Conger it is. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. He has a look, and that's in there. 1-2 the count. No score, only one hit. That was the leadoff single by Gordon. Each team left a runner at third in the first inning. Conger swings and lifts one to the left side, and it'll be the shortstop Gordon making the catch. So just like that, one away here in the third inning. A reminder, you can spend Father's Day with your dad here at Dodger Stadium. Sunday, the Dodgers and the White Sox at 1:10. Fans with the first 20,000 tickets receive a sports bag, and after the game, why, dads and families invited onto the field to play catch. All compliments of United Airlines. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. And the first pitch to Jerome Williams is ball one. He has really been looking forward to this moment. Tell you why in a moment. The 1-0 pitch on the way. He swings and hits it into left center field. It's going to be an extra base hit. He has waited 5 years to take an at-bat, and he doubles on the second pitch. Jerome Williams. I'm sure all of his mates are happy for him. Dan Harron looking out. Williams, because he has been in the American League and also in the minor leagues and even in Taiwan, and he was saying before the game, 5 years I've waited to have an at-bat, and what does he do but get his first hit in 5 years, a double. So one away. Williams at second, and here's Mike Trout. Each side with a hit. We're in the third, no score. Trout walked in the first inning. Wild pitch to second, got to third and stayed there. And Mike takes the first pitch strike, 0-1. One of the things you really notice about him, not just the overall ability, which is eye-catching, but certainly it's his patience. You know, rookies aren't very patient. They're in a hurry to get things done. It's the veterans, to use the manager's words, about slowing the game down. His ninth inning walk last night and his leadoff walk tonight, similar in that he fell behind, fouled off a couple of two-strike pitches, and then walked on the eighth pitch. You just don't see kids do that, but he is anything but a 20-year-old when it comes to ability. 0-1 the count to Mike Trout. Harang ready, over the top fastball, line to right field. Ethier will make the catch, and holding at second base is Williams. Boy, Trout is a tough out. He hit a BB that was sinking to right field and held up just long enough for Ethier to come up and make the catch. So 2 out. Jerome Williams is still at second base, and another tough hitter, Torrey Hunter, checking in. Torrey, 9 home runs, 25 runs batted in. 2 out, top of the third, no score. Harang at the belt, over the top, and he's in the dirt. Ball one, 1-0 to count. Torrey Hunter, born in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, lives in Dallas, Texas. We mentioned he has 9 Gold Gloves. The record for outfield is 12. Willie Mays and Roberto Clemente. The record for any position, 18. And that was won by Greg Maddux. The 1-0 pitch on the way, low and away. Nice backhanded save by A.J. Ellis. And a 2-ball, no-strike count. Torrey Hunter makes a lot of money playing professional ball. when you peel back the layers of his life like an onion, he can tell you all about the time he and his brother would knock on neighbors' doors begging for food. Now the 2-0 pitch, and Torrey takes a little high. So waiting on deck, Albert Pujols. 3-0 the count to Torrey Hunter. At second base, Jerome Williams, no score, third inning. And the 3-0 pitch, Torrey shies away, ball 4, and here comes Albert. So Harang has given up 2 walks and a double. And Albert Pujols checking in. Albert Pujols, coming into the season, had 445 home runs. He needs 1 base to give him 4,000. 9 home runs, 37 runs batted in. 2 on, 2 out, and Pujols at the plate, and he has a look at ball 1. With runners in scoring position as we have right now and 2 out, Pujols this year is hitting .471. So Williams at second. Adam Kennedy is shifted to be up the middle to try and hold the runner on, as well as fill up the gap against Pujols, who takes low, and a 2-0 count. Ellis going out to talk to Harang. Position is everywhere, and that was so important in the first inning. So now the left side of the Dodger infield, you have Uribe guarding the foul line. You have Gordon out on the grass, and then you have Kennedy way over to his right, not quite behind the bag, but almost. The outfield split, a gap in right center, with Gwynn shading just a little towards left center field. So Pujols waiting, 2 balls and no strikes. Harang ready in the 2-0 pitch, swung on, line drive into left field, base hit, but they're going to hold Williams, the pitcher, at third. A nice one hopper from Bobby Abreu. So Pujols loads him up with a single, and that will bring up Kendrys Morales. Line drive despite the great effort of D. Gordon to flag it, and then the throw, a one hopper, but they had no thought of running Williams anyway. So you have Williams at third, Hunter at second, Pujols at first. And remember, one of the 2 outs was that bullet hit by Mike Trout to right field that was caught by Ethier. So Harang hasn't really fooled anybody. And here's Morales, who hit one up the middle in the out because the shortstop was playing behind second base. And he takes low, ball 1. So now the Dodger infield deployment is the other way. Uribe is almost all alone between second and third. Gordon is almost behind the bag at second, and Kennedy is out a few feet in right field. Position is everything, and the 1-0 pitch on the way. Taken low, ball 2, 2-0. With the bases loaded, you find out that Morales has 1 grand slam, and the one that he had, of course, you remember, almost ended his career with that wild celebration at home plate, and he suffered that most serious ankle injury. 2 balls and no strikes the count. Morales waits, swings, hits a ground ball to shallow right field. It's kicked by Kennedy, who loses the play and gives up a run. So Adam Kennedy, unable to come in off the grass and handle a routine ground ball, he will draw an error, and the Angels will draw a run. So Morales safely aboard. Adam Kennedy was hitting the pit of the stomach. I'm not sure if he thought maybe the ball took a bad hop, but that's where he nailed him. So it is 1-0 in favor of the Angels on the error. Pujols advances to second. Hunter goes to third. And scoring with 2 out is Williams. Now the batter, Mark Trumbo, and he fouls it back, and the count 0-1. 1-0 in favor of the Angels. We're in the third inning. Bases remain loaded. Hunter, Pujols, and Morales are all out there. And the strike one pitch on the way. Harang delivers, and that's hit to the gap in right center field and deep. Ethier goes over and makes the running catch. So Trumbo a long out to right center. Angels get one, lead 3. Dodger error helps for the run brought in by Williams, and it's 1-0 Angels. A little solace after that hard ground ball jumped up and hit him in the stomach to give the Angels a run. So the first baseman he visited with was Mark Ellis, the Dodgers second baseman, sidelined because of the leg injury. Mark in uniform, and we're so grateful that he is here, even if he can't play. Though it is 1-0 in favor of the Angels, Jerome Williams ready to go to work. And that close-up, you look at his necklace, and there's a reason. We'll tell you in a moment. The big boy ready to pitch to Aaron Harang. And first off will be Gwynn, who tries to bunt and is thrown out by Conger. So one away, and Harang coming up. For years, Jerome Williams wore a necklace of puka shells. Remember, he's from Hawaii. He wore it in honor of his mom, but then eventually, it was back in August of about 7 years ago, he had a bad game, and in frustration, he ripped the necklace off. But we see he has another one going again. The first pitch in now to Harang, in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Angels 1, Dodgers 0, 1 out in the third. Strike one pitch is waved at and missed. Aaron with a count of 0-2. Harang has not been much of a hitter. He has struck out half the time. He has one hit. Now the strike two pitch off the plate, ball one. Harang does have 2 runs batted in. So the battle of the pitchers here with 1 out, bases empty, 1-0 Angels. The next pitch, a chopper wide of third. Pujols is on it. Low throw out to get it is Morales. And just like that, we have 2 down. The batter now will be D. Gordon. While the Dodgers and the Angels are rolling around here at Dodger Stadium, the Giants will be entertaining the Houston Astros. Bud Norris will be pitching for the Astros. Madison Bumgarner for the Giants. Of course, the Giants' big problem, you hate to lay the body in front of any one player, but certainly the Giants' big problem, Tim Lincecum. I mean, Lincecum has not only lost 5 straight, his record this year for his club, the Giants are 2-11 when Lincecum pitches. Gordon takes a strike. Though the Giants technically 4.5 back, but you don't figure they're going to go anywhere unless they get Lincecum squared away. Another pitch to Gordon in for a strike. D lined a single to center in the first inning, stole second, but was left at third. Now the strike 2 pitch on the way, sliced foul off to the left, back in the lower deck. Williams with that low heater. 0-2. With all the different things you can imagine, with the pink glove and the puka necklace, he's very superstitious, is Williams. The pitch is strike 3 called to D. Gordon. So the Dodgers go down 1-2-3, and at the end of 3, Angels 1, Dodgers 0. Now, 4th inning, 1-0 in favor of the Angels. By the way, we mentioned the Giants Astros. We can tell you they're in the bottom of the 3rd inning up north, and the Astros were leading the Giants 1-0. Meiser Asturis will start it off, then Eric Ibar and Hank Conger, and the first pitch missing, ball 1-0. Now we get a report in the bottom of the 3rd. The pitcher, Madison Bumgarner, has just hit a home run to tie up the game with the Astros. Well, just as Harang might have been shocked by Jerome Williams doubling and scoring in the 3rd inning, Bud Norris had to be shocked by Bumgarner hitting a home run. 1-2 to Meiser Asturis, struck out in the 2nd inning. One run, 2 hits for the Angels. No runs, 1 hit for the Dodgers. 2-2. Asturis batting .224. Still up there 2-2. Aaron Harang might surprise you in the strikeout department. He had back-to-back strikeouts in the 2nd inning. But over the last 8 years, he's been inside of the top 5 in strikeouts. Popped up, right side, Kennedy. So 1 away here in the 4th inning.
Coming to the plate, shortstop Eric
Mike
Ibar.
Scioscia, bobblehead night tonight has brought him out, as well they should. He was a most popular player and remains a favorite in the hearts of Dodger fans everywhere. Ibar fly to center, 0 for 1, showing bunt and a strike. Eric Ibar has 9 bunt hits. Dodgers were a little bit, I hate to use the word careless, but they just weren't thinking last night. Herrera was playing third, and he was playing deep like a regular third baseman. And Ibar just came up, dropped a bunt, and beat Capuano's play. Uribe knows he's in on the grass. Ibar with 9 bunt hits, 17 infield hits, and especially a threat. Switch hitter batting left-handed. Interesting that he has become a good bunter. Fly ball to the gap in left center field. On the dead run is Abreu to make a fine running catch. So Ibar goes deep to left center, and Abreu is able to catch up to it and run it down. So 2 out, and Hank Conger coming up. Bobby Wilson and Chris Iannetta. That figured to be the twosome, with Iannetta catching the bulk of the games and Bobby Wilson backing up. But Iannetta came down with a bad wrist. Bobby Wilson with concussion. What Wilson was doing, we understand, he had one of those ultra modern masks. So very, very light you would hardly know it's on your head. And it was so very, very light, I guess, that it couldn't take that constant beating. So Bobby is going back to the old-fashioned mask, and he'll return for the Angels not too long. 2-1 to count to Hank Conger. Orang with a record of 5-3. 2-1 to Hank. 2-2. And ball 3. Orang with 2 out, working on the number 8 hitter, Jerome Williams, who burned him with a double and scored the only run in the game, on deck. 3-2. High fly ball, very playable. Gwynn started back. So a 1-2-3 inning in the 4th. Orang walks off, and at the end of 3.5, Angels 1, Dodgers nothing. Back at the 3rd inning, Jerome Williams making his first at bat in 5 years. on a 1-ball, no strike count, doubled the left center, and the Angels eventually got him around on an error by Adam Kennedy. We mentioned a little while ago that Jerome Williams is a bit superstitious, at least he has that reputation, and with the pink glove and the inscription under the bill of the cap and the puka necklace. They say that years ago he'd have maybe a lucky bamboo plant in his locker. He also had a jade dragon because he was born in the year of the dragon. And once in a while, for good measure, he'll tuck a tea leaf in his cap when he takes the mound. So whatever, it helps him get through. And Jerome ready to go to work now against A.J. Ellis. Strike, inside corner, 0-1. Ellis walked 4 times last night, struck out first time up tonight. Breaking ball grounded into center field. So Ellis continues to get on base. And now Ethier, Rivera, and Abreu trying to get him home. Andre Ethier grounded out in the first inning. One thing, without knowing why, just knowing that he's doing it, you sit up here and you watch Ethier and you know he's having trouble with his swing. Last night he was really off the tracks when he struck out 3 times. Ball 1. Williams has not had a 2-ball count since the first batter, D. Gordon, in the first inning. And he has certainly not had a 3-ball count. So he's right around the plate. Now he has a 2-ball count on Ethier. We also mentioned that his pattern of pitching, he has troubles in the first 3 innings and then settles down pretty much in the middle 3. He had no real trouble in the first 3 tonight. And that's going to be banged into right center, base hit. So Ellis on his way to third on a long single by Andre Ethier. So Jerome Williams in trouble now. First and third. Nobody out. Angels lead 1-0. And Juan Rivera coming up. Rivera, in his time with the Angels, had 25 home runs. That was 3 years ago. He had 23 home runs. Right now the Dodgers are hoping he can come up with at least a base hit to get Ellis home from third. Remember, the Dodgers right now are 1 for 14 with runners in scoring position in the 2 games. They have squandered so many opportunities, leaving Gordon at third in the first inning. Ball 1. Juan Rivera, who became the 20th member of the Dodger Stadium Loge level home run club. He hit one up there. He's 6'2", 225, so he brings up a lot of power. And a line drive base hit. Well, that will bring in Ellis to tie it up. Ethier stops at second, and we have a 1-1 tie. And the Dodgers are going after Jerome Williams. All 3 hits have been hit hard. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, going out to the mound. Mike's out of Iowa and Illinois, went to Northeast Oklahoma. When you ask Butcher, who was a pitcher, he said, when I was 11 years old, my father ordered me to pitch. And Mike didn't want to pitch. He was scared. Dad, what if I hit somebody? I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to pitch. And his father said, if you hit somebody, just go ahead and hit the next batter too. Well, he did that. The third kid began crying, and that was his beginning of being a young baby pitcher. Now he's counseling them. First and second, nobody out in a 1-1 tie. A.J. Ellis base hit is cashed in by Rivera. The 3 straight singles. Now Abreu. Ball 1. So the top of the order with 4 hits. Gordon, Ellis, Ethier, and Rivera all have singles. And a high fly ball into center. Back goes Trout to the track at the wall to make the catch. Tagging up at second and moving over to third goes Ethier. And now let's see whether the Angels are going to protest anything about leaving the bag. Nope. So Ethier tagged and move over to third on that long out to center. And remember, that's the first out. So Abreu hits it a long way. Andre alertly tagging. Now the batter is Adam Kennedy, and Mike Scioscia looks on. Adam Kennedy struck out in the second inning, trying to get Ethier home from third. Remember, Williams gets a lot of double plays. He's had 10 turned in behind him this year. The sinker's the reason. Off speed, that pitch for a strike, and the count 0-1. Kennedy checking with Tim Wallach. Juan Uribe hitting back of him. So you have a battle here. Kennedy is basically a fly ball hitter, and Williams is a ground ball pitcher. A look and a fake. Consecutive singles by Ellis, Ethier, and Rivera get a run home. Abreu's fly ball sends Ethier to third, and Kennedy a comebacker. And they're going to get 2, and the sinker ball pitcher wins it. Adam Kennedy grounding into his first double play of the year, but remember, that's a double play pitcher. So 1 run, 3 hits, and we have a 1-1 tie. Cable. Enjoy all the things you love better. Internet, TV, and home phone from Time Warner Cable. And by the amazing Spider-Man in theaters July 3rd. Beautiful evening and a terrific game. 5th inning in a 1-1 tie. It'll be Jerome Williams who doubled on the second pitch that he saw in the 3rd inning. And ball 1. Williams, Trout, and then Hunter. Juan Rivera At first base, doubled up on the Kennedy comebacker. 2-0 the count to Jerome Williams. Williams' last at bat 5 years ago was with the Washington Nationals. High foul ball down the line. Ethier across the chalk. Backhanded effort. No catch. So Andre Ethier having to fight for the foul ball. Might have made the catch, but fan interference. Take another look. You can see the fella in the tan shirt barehanding and juggling. That's too bad to interfere with a ball in play. And not exactly a kid. Whoa, ball 3. First time we saw Jerome Williams was 9 years ago when he pitched for the Giants. Boy, he's up there to swing. Is it going to be Rivera or Kennedy? It will be Kennedy. Usually they talk about the second baseman being the caddy on towering pop flies. It's usually the second baseman who settles under instead of the first baseman. So Kennedy took care of that, and we have one away. Mike Trout walked, got as far as third in the first inning, hit one right on the screws and lined out to Ethier in the third inning. Shows bunt, strike. Trout, who does everything else well, is also a pretty good bunter. Shows it again. 1-1. In the month of June, Mike Trout has multiple hits in 8 of 10 games. He has 3 bunt singles. And a little child shall lead them. He's not exactly a little child. 6'1", 215. 2-1. Drops in there. So Aaron Harang at 33. Working on young Trout. Ball 3. Trout has hit safely in 14 of the last 15. Waiting on deck, Torrey Hunter. 1-1 tie, top of the 5th. Fastball hit to Gordon. Trout flying down the line. 2 out. And the batter now, the veteran Hunter, who has grounded to short and walked 0 for 1. Torrey had that remarkable 3-game series in Colorado. 9 hits, 9 RBIs, 8 runs scored. And slices one into right center for a base hit. So a 2-out single by Torrey Hunter will bring up Albert Pujols.
Third baseman, number 5, Albert Pujols.
We were talking about him last night. The fact that there's a little stadium in Santo Domingo. I think it holds about 12,000 people. And his father made sandwiches and sold them along with coffee. Had a little store under the grandstand. And Albert would help his dad put all the food together. And while he was doing that, he could hear the bat crushing the ball. The echo throughout the empty stadium. People like Sammy Sosa, Raul Mondesi, taking batting practice. And he has gone from being under the stands to filling the stands. 9 home runs, 37 runs batted in. For Albert Pujols, talking about filling the stands, he was the youngest of 11 children, basically raised by his grandmother and grandfather. Family very, very poor. Fouled away. Albert, raised in Santo Domingo in the Dominican. He was a 13th round pick by the Cardinals in 1999. And boy, what years he gave St. Louis. He was playing baseball, hardball, when he was 6 years old. Dodgers load up the left side against him. The Uribe close to the line, and Kennedy crossing over the line. The outfield straightaway, and Abreu very deep in left field. 0-2. Ball 1. For Albert Pujols, one of 4 big league batters in the history of the game to begin his career with 10 straight 100 RBI seasons. Who are the other 3? Joe DiMaggio, Al Simmons, and Ted Williams. 2-2 the count. Albert, really well put together, 6'3", 230, 32 years old. Waved at, badly fooled, chasing a pitch out of the strike zone. So Pujols strikes out, much to the delight of the crowd. No runs, a hit, a man left, and at the end of 4 1/2, we have a 1-1 tie. Sports Authority, the official sporting goods retailer of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Bottom of the 5th inning in a 1-1 tie. The Dodgers will have Juan Uribe, Tony Gwynn, and then Aaron Harang against Jerome Williams. Uribe grounded out in the 2nd inning, and ball 1. 2-0 the count. That wasn't a bad slider. Fastball, curve, slider, change. Fastball and a big chopper backing for the hop as Pujols had the double clutch and just got him anyway. So Pujols just does nip Uribe one away, and Tony Gwynn coming up.
Tony Gwynn Jr.
Tony Gwynn tried to bunt for a base hit in the third inning and was thrown out by Hank Conger. Tony hitting .270, 17 runs batted in. Went 0 for 3 last night. Kind of a nightmare game for him. Hit into 2 double plays and struck out. Chopper foul. 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Tony Gwynn. Hitting back of him, Aaron Harang. Oh, and 2. No balls and 2 strikes to Tony Gwynn. We have a 1-1 tie, bottom of the 5th. Angels scored in the 3rd. Dodgers tied it up in the 4th. And in there. So Gwynn is caught looking. Down he goes. Aaron Harang coming up. You know, Hello Kitty night at Dodger Stadium is back by popular demand. Sunday, July 1st, the Dodgers and the Mets at 5:10. Fans with the first 50,000 tickets will receive their very own Hello Kitty mini bobblehead in Dodger gear. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. 2 down. Here's Harang. 4 strikeouts for Jerome Williams. In fact, checkmate. That would be number 5. Two and 0 they count. Long time ago, when Williams was really just starting in the big leagues, and it's interesting in baseball, you have to find somebody to compare somebody else. So when Williams first came up, he threw hard, and he's black. So everybody said, well, you know, he looks a little bit like Bob Gibson and Dwight Gooden. Well, now, that was a stretch. A one-hopper gobbled up at first base by Morales. So down go the Dodgers, 1-2-3, and at the end of 5, a 1-1 tie. big first baseman the Dodgers had by the name of Hee-Sop Choi. Well, Hee-Sop Choi on this day, the Dodgers were playing Minnesota, and he hit 3 home runs. And not to be undone, he had more luck. He had 3 more home runs in the next 2 games. So Hee-Sop Choi had 6 home runs in a 3-game stretch. And I'm sure at night when things are very quiet, you might still hear the chant. Boy, we heard it for those 3 days. Hee-Sop Choi, Hee-Sop Choi. Big, good-natured guy from Korea, always wearing a smile. Wherever he is, I'm sure he's still hitting home runs. Let's go back to this one.
Hello, good morning, how you doing? What the move here? Welcome to the future. I'm the captain of the cool kids. The revolution's never been televised. Break booty, better thighs. I ain't
1-1 as we go to the 6th inning. Jerome Williams really pitching a low-pitch game. Williams made 16 pitches in the first inning, but since then, 10, 9, 11, 10, 9 ground balls and 1 fly ball. Remember, we told you he's a sinker ball pitcher. 9 ground balls and 1 fly ball. Meanwhile, Aaron Harang has made 79 pitches, and he's working on Morales. Now the Dodgers stack up their little picket fence on the right side against Kendry. Kendrick grounded to short, reached on the error. Hard ground ball to Adam Kennedy. That got the Angel run home in the 3rd inning. Adam got hit pretty hard in the pit of the stomach. 3-0. That's in there. Morales hitting .289, switch hitter, and he's aboard with a leadoff walk. For Aaron Harang, who walked the leadoff man, Trout, in the first inning. That would be the 3rd walk he has given up. Mark Trumbo struck out, flied to right, 0 for 2. Trumbo with 14 home runs, lifting 1 foul. Rivera coming over, no play. 0-1. Talking about Hee-Sop Choi hitting 6 home runs over a 3-game stretch. Mark Trumbo hit home runs in 4 consecutive games this year. He had 29 last year, his rookie year. It took Garrett Anderson, a wonderful hitter, 6 years to produce like that. Darren Erstad never did. Hot ground ball, base hit. So Harang's in trouble now. A walk and a single, and Meiser is Torres coming up. Trumbo is 1 for 3.
Meiser is Torres.
For Harang, he's allowed 4 hits. The total's 1 run and 4 hits for each side. 2 on, nobody out. Is Torres coming up, checking to see what kind of a play might be in the works. And then you have Ibar. Dodgers look bunt. They have Rivera up in front of the runner. Uribe has to play a little caddy corner, and Gordon is riding the back of Morales. High fly ball to left field. Abreu is there. The runners are holding. Though as Torres not only swinging away, which might have been a little bit of a surprise, but first ball swinging. And the batter now, Eric Ibar. Looking at Mike Scioscia there for the moment reminds me, somebody asked him, Mike, when you played, were they always talking steroids? Mike said no. He said, you know what my steroids were? I said no. Cheesecake and fettuccine Alfredo. Fettuccine Alfredo, yeah. Those were his steroids. High bars fly to center, fly to left, change for a strike. 0-1. Ibar, 14 runs batted in. Numbers say he's hitting better right-handed than left. 258 right, 211 left. 2 on, 1 out. 1-1, 6th inning. In the dirt, nice save by Ellis. 1 ball and 1 strike. Morales at second, Trumbo at first, 1 away. Angels have won 10 straight on the road. The Dodgers have lost 5 straight at home. Angels winning a tough 1-run game last night, 3-2. Fouled away. The Angels have not been successful in 1-run games. Not yet, anyway. They are 6-10 in 1-run games. The Dodgers, on the other hand, have done well in 1-run games. 16-11 and 9-5 at home. 1-2 to Ibar. He's hit 2 fly balls to center and left. They give him all of right center. 2-2. Orang's pitch count has now gotten up to 91. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And that dropped in there for strike 3. Boy, when you have late breaking stuff, it really perplexes the hitters. I mean, Ibar thought that was up there, and then it just drops into the strike zone. So Ibar strikes out, and the batter now will be Hank Conger. 4 strikeouts for Aaron Harang. Conger popped up, fly to center, 0 for 2. Ball 1. I think both Chris Iannetta and Bobby Wilson are just around the corner from coming back. One ball, no strikes. Ball 2. Conger was a first-round pick by the Angels. They're very high on him. A little more than 5 years ago. He's only 24. Way out in front of a changeup. Who's going to pick it up? Nobody. And by the time Harang does, the bases are loaded. It was a great pitch, a change. Conger way out in front of it. And then this is what happens. Who's going to do it? Nobody. So Conger gets an infield single.
Pitcher, Jerome Williams.
And now a pretty good hitting pitcher, Jerome Williams. One thing you can tell about Williams, he likes to hit. So Morales, Trumbo, and now Conger are all out on the lines. And here's Jerome, doubled and popped up. Couldn't wait to hit. And doubled on the second pitch that he saw. It was his first at bat in 5 years. Jamie Wright begins to get up now in the Dodger bullpen. Hard ground ball, but it's to Kennedy, and Gordon is surprised. Gordon didn't expect the throw. He thought Kennedy was going to throw it to first. And so the Dodgers' own miscues give the Angels a 2-1 lead. See, Gordon just stops almost, pointing. He was pointing to first, I believe. If we could look at that again, watch his right hand. Can't see it on that angle.
Center fielder, Mike Trout.
Watch now, maybe from here. See him point with his right hand, and then it's like, whoops, I got to get there, and he drops it. So two bad defensive plays, one on the little squibber involving Harang and Rivera, and now that play, and the error will be charged to Gordon because the throw by Kennedy hit him right in the glove. So it is 2-1 Angels as the Dodgers commit two big errors in the inning. And now here, of all people, is Mike Trout. So Mike Trout with the bases loaded, hitting .350, 6 home runs, 26 runs batted in. Shaky defensive play, and we'll see the damage in a minute. 0-1. In the inning, it started with a walk to Morales. Then the single by Trumbo. And with 2 out, it looked like Harang was out of the inning. But the little squibber from Conger misplayed. And then the mix-up at second base. Rivera and Harang not sure what to do on Conger's little ball. And at least up here it looked like Gordon was pointing to throw to first, which is surprising. You would expect it to be a force play to end the inning, and Conger was pretty far from the bag, but it happens. So 1-1 to count. Trout then becomes the 7th man to come up in the inning. 1 ball and 1 strike. And fouled away down the line, well out of play. 1-2 to count. So Mike Trout given a big chance to turn the game around. He has Trumbo, Congers, and Williams out there. Two and two. That was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. So as you can see, Aaron has now reached 100 pitches. He's had 1 inning, the third, where he made 20 pitches. And now here in this inning, he's made 22. Well, it is a moment of truth. With the bases loaded and 2 out, a 3-2 count to Mike Trout. On deck, Torrey Hunter. So a big moment for Harang. And Trumbo, Congers, and Williams all ready to go. 3-2. So for Mike Trout, welcome to the club. For D. Gordon, a sigh of relief. However, the Dodgers still give up a run they should not have allowed, and they trail 2-1. dealer right now for great deals. Only a Honda is a Honda. Well, just to add to the drama with the Angels leading the Dodgers 2-1, a report out of San Francisco. The Giants are now leading the Astros 3-1 in the 5th inning. Shortstop Brandon Crawford singled in 2 in the 4th to give the Giants the lead. So the Dodgers playing fast and loose give the Angels 2 runs. Bases loaded, 1 run coming over in the 6th, and the error in the 3rd inning giving the Angels the other. So the total's 2 runs, 5 hits for the Angels, no errors, and the Dodgers 1 run, 4 hits, and 2 huge errors, plus the misplacement of that little dribbler ball up along first base. So for Aaron Hang, after 102 pitches, Aaron rests, and from the looks of things, he'll be going back out there to pitch the bottom, well, actually the 7th inning after the Dodgers hit here in the 6th. So D. Gordon will lead it off. Strike. Gordon single, stole 2nd, got as far as 3rd in the 1st inning, struck out in the 3rd, and then dropped the throw from Kennedy on what should have been the 3rd out, allowing the Angels to get the go-ahead run. D batting .237. Two and 1. For Jerome Williams, he's only made 59 pitches, where Harang made 102. Three and 1. Williams up to now did not have a 3-ball count, nor has he walked anybody. A.J. Ellis on deck. 3 and 1 to Gordon. In there. Check swing. They're going to look. No swing. So it's ball 4. And now D. Gordon, of course, will try to upset Williams.
Catcher number 17, A.J. Ellis.
Just did hold it back. So Gordon, who stole 2nd in the 1st inning, he has stolen 18 out of 24, representing the tying run. Ellis has struck out and singled to center. Remarkable his ability to get on base. 3rd in the league behind Votto and Wright. So now the battle within the war between Gordon and Williams. Two to 1 in favor of the Angels. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Dodgers with the tying run at first. Nobody out. Ellis hitting .309. Has a half a dozen home runs. And a strike. A.J. 25 runs batted in. Meanwhile, Hank Conger looking over to Socia. Sips say, what do you think? Pitch out? Oh and 1. Well, we'll see what that means. Oh and 2 the count to A.J. Ellis. And again, Hank looks over. What do do you think, Skip? You don't waste much on an 0-2 count. One ball and 2 strikes. If you're the runner at first base and you're thinking all the time, and he probably has the green light all the time, he's trying to figure out, I would like to be going on a breaking ball. Of course, they know that, and Ellis figures to get more fastballs. Close enough. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count on Ellis. Williams has excellent control. That walk to Gordon, the first walk. You have Ethier on deck. So again, Conger looks over saying, well, he's only walked 1 and he's ahead in the count. Do you want to pitch out? Well, not yet. And now Ellis strikes out a second time tonight. 6 strikeouts for Jerome Williams. And that brings up Andre Ethier. Nice high fastball with a lot of movement. Ethier grounded to the right side in the first inning. Single to center in the 4th. Dodgers, remember, have really struggled. Last we checked, they were 1 for 14 with a runner in scoring position. 0-1. The only 2 Dodgers who had faced Williams would be 2 fellas who have been around a while, Abreu and Hairston. Abreu came into the game 3 for 6 against Williams. Hairston, who is not in the game, 1 for 3. Oh, 0-1 to Andre Ethier. Juan Rivera on deck. And a drive to center, going back on the ball to the track, reaching up is Trout, and back to first goes Gordon. And boy, how well can he play? Mike Trout. Born to play.
First baseman number 21, Juan Rivera.
Whoa, an ice cream cone, but he held on to it. A big sigh from Jerome Williams. The kid has done it again. John Mattingly talking to the plate umpire Andy Fletcher. I don't think he's talking about the possibility of a balk. They're trying, of course, as hard as they can to keep Gordon anchored at first. So 2 out, and now Rivera. With everything else, you get hard tags. Sometimes you're even hit by the throw. Interesting that Gordon led off the inning with a walk. He's the tying run. The Angels have not called for a pitch out. And now we have 2 down, and you think if he's ever going to go, he'll be gone now. But they've done a very good job of keeping an eye on him. 2-1 Angels, bottom of the 6th. Time. Angels scored in the 3rd. Dodgers scored in the 4th. Angels scored in the 6th. Dodgers committing 2 huge errors to give the Angels the lead. There he goes. The pitch is a strike, and the throw gets away. So Asturias might have had that throw in time, but he couldn't hold on to it. We'll take another look. Conger right on the money. But it looked like now that the tag would have been below that belt, and the hand probably would have been on the bag. Well, the Dodgers are 2 for 17 with runners in scoring position in the series. Rivera got the RBI single in the 4th inning. So now he's asked to get another and tie it up. And a cracked bat line drive for an out. So the broken bat line drive, and the Dodgers leave Gordon. And at the end of 6, 2-1 Angels. Talking to Rick Honeycutt a little while ago, we showed you, Don. Now watch Mattingly's right arm. See that? He was talking to Andy Fletcher. Now we'll go to the mound and show you Jerome Williams. Watch that right foot. He's now on the rubber, and watch the right arm. So apparently Mattingly feels that that was a balk, in the sense it was the beginning of a movement. He talked it with Fletcher twice. The second time, Fletcher said something about, "I know what you mean." But that's all we know, as Hunter, Pujols, and Morales checks in the 7th inning, and that's ball 1. Of course, you have to figure every team in the league trying to conspire to prevent D. Gordon from stealing a base. Hot ground ball. Uribe stays with it, and that takes care of Hunter. Boy, that thing was ripped. 1 out in the 7th.
Third baseman, Albert Pujols.
Albert Pujols grounded to third, single to left, and struck out. Pujols hitting .261, 9 home runs, 37 runs batted in. Angels 2 runs, 5 hits. Dodgers 1 run, 4 hits, 2 errors. Big ones. Ball 1. Dodger put the picket fence up on the left side. 1 ball and no strikes. And a drive to left and deep on the dead run is Abreu. It's going to be off the wall. I don't know if a fan touched it or not, but Pujols is going to stop at second base anyway. So Albert Pujols doubles off the box seats.
First baseman, number 8, Morales.
Got a high fastball up around the shoulders, and the fan reaches over. I don't think he touched it, so the ball's in play, and it was a double. So Pujols is 2 for 4. He's gone over 4,000 total bases in his career, and here is Morales. And ball 1. Pujols has 17 doubles now, along with his 9 home runs. That ball he hit probably was out of the strike zone. It looked like it was up around his shoulders. Didn't make any difference. Foul ball, 1-1. In the Dodger bullpen, Jamie Wright is up for a second time. Harang is due to bat 5th when the Dodgers hit in the bottom of the 7th inning. Morales grounded to short, reached on the error by Kennedy, and walked. High chopper to Gordon, so that's going to get the run over to third. Say, remember Thursday, June 28th, Dodgers Mets, and fans with the first 50,000 tickets received their very own Eric Karros bobblehead, compliments of Pizza Hut. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. All-time Dodger home run hitter. So Pujols at third, and they're going to walk Trumbo and take their chances against Meiser Izturis. Trumbo hitting .325, 14 home runs, 39 runs batted in, 1 for 3 tonight. So in a moment, Meiser Izturis, who has struck out, popped up, flied to left, 0 for 3. Izturis, originally signed by the Cleveland Indians, came up with the Expos, and then eventually wound up with the Angels back in 2005. In 2006, he hit .293. So first and third, 2 out. Trumbo standing at first. Pujols down the line from third. And a strike. Izturis, by the way, hitting only .220. However, with runners in scoring position, he's hitting .307 in his career. 0-1. Off speed, 1 ball and 1 strike. A couple of the smaller members of the Angels back to back just to make things tougher for Harang. Izturis is 5'8", Ibar about 5'10". 1-1. Ball 2. Harang's pitch count now has gone way up. 116 pitches, so he's on borrowed time. Little foul carrying back into the crowd. 2-2. Meiser Izturis will be 32 in September, from Venezuela. Deuce is wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Trumbo goes on a drive to right. Ethier will make the catch. So the Angels, no runs, 1 hit. They leave 2. And we're heading to the bottom of the 7th in a dandy. Angels 2, Dodgers 1. And the crowd will be asked to stand and sing God Bless America.
And join in the singing of God Bless America, accompanied by Nancy B. Please welcome back Sergeant First Class Gigi Theocarides. Sergeant First Class Gigi Theocarides.
They rearrange the furniture a little bit. Alberto Callaspo takes over at third base, and Albert Pujols moves over to first, and that means Kendrys Morales comes out of the ball game. So it is 2-1 in favor of the Angels, and Jerome Williams, who's made only 71 pitches in 6 innings, working on Bobby Abreu. And a strike. Abreu grounded to short, fly to center, hitting .319. 0-1. Off speed. That's that changeup. Some people think that's the best pitch Williams has. 0-2. Abreu, Kennedy, and Uribe. Comebacker. Anyone who is a ground ball pitcher by nature and force has to become a good fielding pitcher. And remember the big play with Kennedy in the fourth inning, when Kennedy hit the ball very hard and Williams turned it into a double play. Kennedy struck out, hit into the double play. The error that he committed in the third inning really was a matter of circumstance, I think, because of where he was playing. He drives one, but it is hooking, and it'll be picked off in right field by Torrey Hunter. Back in the third inning, Kennedy was playing on the grass, and the hard ground ball by Morales hit the rim, really, right at the edge of the grass and the dirt, and it hit him pretty hard in the stomach. He was charged with an error, and that produced a run. So now here's Uribe with 2 out in the seventh inning in a very tough 2-1 ball game. That's right. Dodgers 2 for 18 with runners in scoring position in the series. So they lost 3-2, and they're losing 2-1. Well, they've had ample opportunities, unable to cash them in. Angel pitching. And that's another thing. You talk about a team failing and flailing away with runners in scoring position, and you talk of their ineptitude, but it also takes some pretty good pitching to shut him down. Uribe grounded to short, grounded to third, 0 for 2. Down he goes. That would be the 7th strikeout for Jerome Williams. And at the end of 7, 2-1, Angels. Junior $6 burgers made with 100% Black Angus beef. And by Dodge. Visit us at Dodge.com or see your local dealers today. Dodgers make 2 changes down 2-1 to the Angels. Elian Herrera comes in to take over at second base at the same time as Jamie Wright takes over pitching. So I would assume the way the Dodger lineup reads, Wright would go in Kennedy's spot, Herrera would bat ninth, and would bat second when the Dodgers hit in the bottom of the 8th inning. So Jamie Wright, who has done so well, big fella getting ready, and he is big, 6'5", 210, out of Oklahoma City. Originally a first-round pick by the Rockies back in 1993. Jamie's the long shot. If he were a horse, he would have made people a lot of money. 7 times in a row he's gone to spring training as a non-roster invitee, and 7 times he has made the ball club. Ball 1. Eric Ibar flied to center, flied to left, struck out. That's a strike. 1-1. Ibar hitting .222. Hitting .211 left-handed. A slap bunt foul. You know, when we talked about Eric Ibar starting the series last night, we talked about the fact that he watched everything Rafael Furcal did and wanted to play shortstop exactly like Furcal, and that attempt to slap the bunt was pure Furcal. So down he goes. So he goes 0 for 4, striking out twice. 1 out in the 8th. And Hank Conger coming up. It was Conger who popped up, flied to center, and then a big swing on a changeup. He was way out in front, hit it off the end of the stick. A little dribbler up along first, and then confusion. Harang and Rivera, instead of an easy out, it went for a base hit. And then the error at second base by D. Gordon, and the Angels had a go-ahead run. Oh, and 1 the count. There was that big play in the 6th inning on the ball hit by Jerome Williams. Remember, he hit the ground ball to Kennedy. It looked like it was going to be an easy force, but then at least from up here, it looked like Gordon was gesturing, I'm going to be late, throw to first. Kennedy threw to Gordon, who had the ball hit him right in the glove. He dropped it for an error, and that's another huge play. But unless we misunderstood that gesture with the right hand by D. Gordon, I think he was saying, I'm going to be late. Here's the play. Now watch Gordon's right arm. See him gesture like that? Up here it looked like he was saying, don't throw to me, go to first. And then he dropped the throw. So one little mix-up like that, one little gesture, bingo, you're losing the game 2-1. Comebacker off the glove, right recovers, underhands in time to get Conger. Before Jerome Williams comes up, you can take a look at the crowd. It has thinned out a little bit, but the paid attendance, 55,279, a official sellout, and a tribute to 2 good ball clubs, an exciting series, and of course the special guy Mike Scioscia. And remember, 1 more tomorrow night. Mike will bring his club back yet again. That'll be C.J. Wilson and Nathan Eovaldi. Hope you'll be out here with us. That's a strike to Williams. Jerome has been busy. He doubled in the 3rd inning and scored a run, and it was his ground ball to Kennedy that produced the mix-up around second base, the error, and the 2nd run. And a strike. 1-2. Breaking ball, slowly hit. Tough play. Uribe gloves, throws, and gets him. Not so tough because Williams trying to conserve a little energy jogging down the line. All right, we're heading to the bottom of the 8th. Angels 2, Dodgers 1. Is an open date, and then starting Friday night, the White Sox come in. The Chicago White Sox, in case you have not been watching, are leading the American League Central. They have been playing very well, and they'll be in here Friday night on Prime Ticket, Saturday evening on KCAL, and then Sunday afternoon on Prime. Following Sunday, the Dodgers have an off day on Monday, and then they play Oakland, Anaheim, and San Francisco. Jerome Williams ready to work the bottom of the 8th inning, and it will be Tony Gwynn, Elian Herrera batting ninth, and then Dee Gordon. Williams has been rather remarkable. He's had 10 no-ball, 2-strike counts. In those at-bats, the Dodger hitters are 1 for 10. The only hit was Dee Gordon, who was 0 for 2, battled a 2-2, and then got a single. Williams has faced 25 batters tonight, and he has missed the strike zone a total of 20 times, spread amongst the 25 hitters. So he's been remarkable. And now here he is against Gwynn. Ball 1. Callaspo is on the edge of the grass at third. Tony tried to bunt for a hit in the 3rd inning and was thrown out. Outfield split, the big gap in right center. One and one. Williams has been very tough. He has struck out 7. The only walk, he surrendered that to Dee Gordon back in the 6th inning. And he's allowed 4 hits. Off speed, little roller to his terse. 1 away. You know, friends, you can follow the Dodgers with MLB.com at bat 12 for your iPhone, iPad, BlackBerry, Android, and Windows Mobile. You can get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and so much more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Dodgers.com for details. Elian Herrera finishing up at second base for Adam Kennedy. Dee Gordon on deck. Herrera always shows bunt, always, sometime during the sequence of the at-bat. hitting .300 with 11 runs batted in. Again, as if he's going to drag. 2-0. Jerome Williams, in his 11th start, he does have a complete game, but he is now behind 3-0 to Herrera with Gordon on deck. In there. Herrera, who figured to be kind of a backup player, has been in 27 games. So he's been busy. And it gets away at the plate. Ball 4. Conger's on it now, and Herrera will hold at first. So the 1-out walk puts the tying run aboard and brings up D. Gordon. By the way, up north, the Giants are leading the Astros 3-1, bottom of the 7th inning. Madison Bumgarner has struck out 12 Astros through 7 innings. D. Gordon, single to center, stole second. Dodgers left him at third in the first inning. Struck out in the third, walked in the 6th. Committed the big error when he dropped the throw from Kennedy in the 6th inning. Williams has only made 88 pitches, and we're in the 8th inning. So the big man from Hawaii has done remarkably well. Gordon hitting .237. 1 home run. He hit it in Colorado. 14 runs batted in. Herrera has stolen 3 out of 4. So he runs reasonably well. 1 ball and no strikes to D. Gordon. One and one. One thing I noticed, Jerome Williams does that a lot. Remember, we showed you him raising his right arm. He just did it, and his right foot's on the rubber, but they're not calling him for it. But Mattingly did have some thoughts about it and talked to Andy Fletcher twice. Let's just see if he does it again. He's getting up on the mound. Foot on the rubber very carefully. Yep. So it's just a habit, and as far as that right sleeve is concerned, he wants to move that away from the armpit. There goes Herrera. The bunt is over the backstop screen. So the Dodgers playing bunt and run. 1-2 the count. D. Gordon, normally a leadoff man, but he did bat low in the lineup, and because of that, he does have 1 sacrifice. Williams has been vulnerable to the stolen base. Success rate is 77%. He has also picked off 11 runners. So 2-2 the count. Waiting on deck, A.J. Ellis. Two and two. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Herrera, the tying run at first, 1 out in the 8th. 2-1 Angels. And a meeting. Ibar wants to come in. Because the infielders, they love to know and want to know what the pitch is going to be. They can cheat a little bit if it's an off-green breaking ball. If they think the hitter can pull it, or the fastball away that could be slapped the other way. 2-2. Ground ball to Pujols. Down to Ibar. Back, not in time. So it's a force play 3-6. Of course, now you talk about the battle within the game. This will really be something with Gordon representing the tying run and 2 out. You have to believe he's going to try and go somewhere during the pitch sequence. Gordon stole second, but that was way back in the 1st inning. In the 6th inning, he reached on a walk. And let's watch him as he takes his lead. When he stole in the 1st inning, he stole on the very first pitch to A.J. Ellis. Two out, 8th inning, 2-1 Angels. Ball 1. And again, the guessing game. Mike Scioscia thinking about whether he wants to pitch out. Don Mattingly, no doubt, giving Gordon the green light. One ball and no strikes. Late in the game, that's a purposeful throw. Anything you can do late in the game to tire the runner, take a step away from him, will make all the difference at second base. Off the plate, 2-0. So the game within the game. Now Conger looking over at Mike. Williams is certainly not going to let Gordon, and we talked about it last night, he is not going to let Gordon's left foot be even with the point of the cutout. Right now, Gordon's right foot is a little past the cutout, but even then, you're going to watch him so closely. Two and 0. And there he goes. The pitch is high. The throw is too late. Turris thinks he had him, and Gordon is very slow in getting up and in pain. Mike Scioscia is going to come out and argue with Joe West. Take another look. Throw is perfect. The tag on the hip, but it looked like the hand was on the bag first. Let's see. Boy, is it close. Can't tell. Now from this angle, looks like his hand was on just before the tag on the hip. Right there. Joe West senior umpire in the league. Joe, by the way, has lost about, honestly, almost 50 pounds. Cowboy Joe West. So the big play, the steal of second by Gordon, his second stolen base. Now with 2 out, 3-0 to count. So this is a big at bat for Ellis, especially with Andre Ethier waiting on deck. 3 balls and no strikes. And ball 4 for Ethier.
Number 16, Andre Ethier.
Boy, what a day. You have a press conference at 1 o'clock announcing that you have signed Andre Ethier to a 5-year deal for a lot of money. And now in the bottom of the 8th inning, who's up there with a chance to change things but Andre Ethier? Meanwhile, Mike Butcher is going to go out to counsel Williams. Down in the bullpen, Jordan Walden, a right-hander, has begun to warm up. So Walden getting ready. Ethier grounded out, singled, and last time up sent Mike Trout up against the center field wall for his out in the 6th inning. Trout making a very fine running catch before slamming into the pads. So Ethier and Williams had never hooked up. As we mentioned earlier, only 2 Dodgers had faced Williams in the past, Abreu and Hairston. So Andre is 1 for 3. You have Gordon the tying run at second, Ellis at first, 2 out, 2-1. Angels and the crowd going bananas. Breaking ball, slider down and in. 0-1. Andre hitting .288. Wouldn't bite. 1-1. .98 pitches made by Jerome Williams. Aaron Harang made 118. Foul ball, believe on his foot. 1-2 the count. He hadn't seen a fastball yet, and the chances are he's not going to see one unless it's just to make him think of it. Two out, 8th inning, 2-1 Angels. 1-2 the count to Ethier. Gordon and Ellis with Gordon the tying run. Waiting on deck, Juan Rivera. That's the showcase fastball, a purpose pitch at 91. You would not expect Ethier to get a fastball to hit. So deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on, 2-1 Angels. Breaking ball hit into right field. Base hit. Gordon scores to tie it up. Ellis to third, and they're all even at 2.
First baseman number 21, Juan Rivera.
So Jerome Williams gives up the base hit to Ethier. He has made 101 pitches, and the 101st ties up the game. Now Rivera, who has struck out, single left, broke his bat and hit a line drive right back at Williams. First and third, 2 out in a 2-2 tie. And a Dodgers lead to 2. Jerome Williams serves it up to Juan Rivera. The Dodgers lead 5-2. Give you a chance to catch your breath. We'll be right back. And for Jerome Williams, the end of his night. The crowd going wild as Rivera turns the game around completely. So from 2-1 down, the Dodgers now are leading 5-2. Walden picking up the pieces for Jerome Williams, who made 102 pitches. He walked 2 and gave up a single and a stolen base. And now Walden trying to get the last out with Abreu. Ball 1. So the Dodgers started 3 former Angels with Abreu, Adam Kennedy, and Juan Rivera. And Rivera comes up with a big one. James Loney is out on deck. He would bat for Jamie Wright. And then no doubt stay in the game at first base. Kenley Jansen is warming up in the Dodger bullpen. And that's ball 3. 3-0 to Bobby Abreu. All smiles so far in the Dodger dugout. That's a strike. 3-1. Jordan Walden coming in to pick up the pieces and get an out. Jordan is a Texan out of Fort Worth. Fouled away. Walden is certainly big enough. 6'5", 235. He'll be 25 the middle of November. Came up to the Angels at the end of 10 and to stay in 11. And for Juan Rivera, you figure his night's work is certainly done with that big home run. And a soft line drive that somehow gets away from Callaspo. Alberto, a fine defensive player, suddenly reached up and it wasn't there. So Abreu comes up with a hit. He goes 1 for 4. Take a look at Callaspo. He reaches up, a glove full of empty.
Pinch hitting, number 7, James Loney.
So James Loney will now bat for right. They're going to give Callaspo an error in deference to the pitcher, figuring he should have caught it, but he didn't. That takes a base hit away possibly from Bobby Abreu. By the way, we were talking about the drama of Ethier from the press conference to his at-bat and his base hit to drive in Gordon to tie up the game. I don't believe Andre is aware of it right now, but that was number 500 RBIs in his career. 1 ball and no strikes. Abreu is 38 years old. You don't think of him as a base stealer, but he is 2 for 2. 1-0 the count to Loney, hitting .255. And there goes Abreu, off-speed pitch, and he is out. Bobby got a great pitch to steal off-speed. Meanwhile, Juan Rivera got a great pitch to turn the game around. The Dodgers score 4, and Rivera drives in 3 of them as he reaches the stands, and it is 5-2 Dodgers. Inning. Elian Herrera will now go and play left field, and Bobby Abreu comes out. The Dodgers also bring in Jerry Hairston to play second base, and they bring in James Loney to pick up at first, and on the mound Kenley Jansen. Jansen, who came in last night, made 23 pitches, gave up a walk, a single, and 2 stolen bases. Kenley with a record of 4-1. And remember, Jansen went head-to-head with Pujols in the 9th inning last night. Went 3-1, and Pujols singled home Mike Trout to give the Angels the victory. Though tonight, he's now trying to turn it around and face Trout, Hunter, and Pujols. Mike Trout has hit safely in 14 of 15, but tonight he is 0 for 3 with a walk. He hit one ball very hard, but lined out to Ethier in right field. That was back in the 3rd inning. 5-2 Dodgers in the 9th. Strike. Oh, and 1 to Mike. 0-2. Tomorrow night, the concluding game of the series, C.J. Wilson and Nathan Eovaldi. White Sox on the weekend. And then next weekend, the Dodgers will be in Anaheim after visiting Oakland. 0-2. Trout made one standout play tonight defensively, making a fine play on a ball hit by Ethier in the 6th inning. On deck, Torrey Hunter. Got him. Fastball at 93 and upstairs. So Trout strikes out twice and goes 0 for 4. High fastball sends him down.
48, Torrey Hunter.
Torrey Hunter has grounded to short and walked, singled to right and grounded to third. On deck, Albert Pujols. Oh, and 1. Another milestone we mentioned earlier. Albert Pujols now has over 4,000 total bases in his career. Andre Ethier with the RBI has 500 RBIs in his career. And there's one more for Juan Rivera. The home run hit by Juan Rivera that has turned the game around completely was his 900th career hit. One ball and 1 strike. The kid from Curacao, Kenley Jansen. Shows bunt, takes a strike. 1-2 to Corey Hunter. I think Horry, he's angry at himself. He was charged with a strike on the bunt and he was muttering bad ball. 1-2. And a fastball at 93 puts him away. The difference, the fastball to Trout was up. The fastball to Hunter was away. Out there. Looked like a cutter. So 2 out in the 9th inning. Kenley Jansen, throwing BBs right about now, has struck out 48 and walked 12. So exactly 4-1 the right way. Here's Pujols, grounded to third, single to left, struck out and double to left. So Albert is 2 for 4 as he checks in. And first pitch popped up foul. Ellis coming back. No play. 55,279 here tonight on Mike Socia bobblehead night. And maybe you'll be with us tomorrow night. C.J. Wilson and Nathan Eovaldi. The question before the House tonight, and there is one. Last night the question was, why did the Dodgers pitch to Albert Pujols? Tonight the question is, why did Socia not have a left-hander ready to come in and face Andre Ethier? And so a great rivalry builds. A drive to center. It is over the head of Gwynn, and he goes back to catch it. So down go the Angels, and the Dodgers and Angels split the first two. For the Dodgers, 5 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors. And for the Angels, 2 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. Jerome Williams, the losing pitcher. And for Jamie Wright, he was the pitcher of record. Jamie picks up the victory. For Kenley Jansen, it took him only 10 pitches to stop the Angels tonight. So that's the story. Tomorrow night will be prime ticket. And it'll be a prime ball game with Wilson and Eovaldi. We'll talk to you then. Till then, we wish you all a very pleasant good evening.